welcome to your February 2022 predictions reading. Now, I'm going to just introduce this reading before we continue. The way that this reading will work is I'll do these at the end of the month for the month ahead. I'm going to start with an oracle card in this instance. This oracle card is going to tell us what the main theme your sign can expect to experience for the month ahead will be. Now, from that main card, we're then going to be getting some tarot to get specific information about what you can expect to experience, get some specific predictions, and then from those tarot predictions, we're also going to get some love predictions for you as well. So it's going to be a quick reading with a lot of information. Now, I just need to quickly address cross watchers. So if you're cross watching an Aquarius person that you have in mind, that's fine. I just need you to know that I'm a very honest tarot reader. So if you hear or see something you don't like, you've been warned. That's completely on you, sweet pea, okay? So let's have a look, Aquarius. What is the main theme that you can expect to experience for the month ahead? What can Aquarius expect to experience for the month of February, please, Spirit? Oh, rose quartz. This is interesting. All the air signs have gotten cards and themes that reflect the air element. So it's exactly the same thing for you with rose quartz coming out. In this deck, rose quartz is associated with the root chakra, that yoga pose. I don't know the name of it. I'm still developing my yogi skills. We also have the air element. We have Uranus as an astrological, what's the word? Theme, I guess, or influence, as well as the number 27. So this card completely gives me you vibes, Aquarius: ingenuity, individuality, creativity, freedom of expression, subjective opinions, and gathering information from subjective sources as well. It feels like you're trying to kind of formulate an opinion on something, and specifically on how to overcome something. Now, it does feel like you could be communicating with someone in particular to help you get that information. Like you could be working closely with someone. It could be you and a partner here, like just talking and understanding each other, trying to get on the same page in order to work through an issue or a challenge. It does feel like in February, it's your birth month, so happy birthday if you're experiencing a birthday in the first half of Feb. But it does feel like your group is kind of, what's the word? Going through an underdog mentality in February. It could be provoked from your birthday, but it just feels like you have this desire to express yourself and to prove yourself. And it's not coming from an idea of wanting to prove something to someone else. It's like you want to prove to yourself that you can do something. And it may be that you're working closely with someone in order to do this, but more than anything, the goals, sorry, I'm wearing a necklace and it keeps banging against the microphone. The goals and intentions you've set for yourself come from this idea of, I need to do this for myself. So you're really trying to think outside the box. You're trying to be quirky, especially with Uranus here. You're trying to look at the situation from different angles, and you're trying to think about it like, but what can I do for the best case, like moving forward? So there is this idea of like future planning in your group as well. Let's get some tarot out here in order to get more specific. Spirit, what's going on for Aquarius in February? What's happening for Aquarius in February, please, Spirit? February, I should say. What's happening for Aquarius in February? What's happening for Aquarius in February, Spirit? We have the Nine of Swords in the upright position. Interesting. What is happening for Aquarius in February? What is happening for Aquarius in February, Spirit? We also have the Four of Swords in the upright. We got all these sword cards for you straight off the cuff. So you're healing and recovering from something, resting, taking a bit of respite. What is happening for Aquarius in February? We also have the Ten of Swords. Darling, you're definitely trying to prove yourself here, trying to overcome something. It is a mentality. You could just be in your head a lot, okay? Overthinking something to the max, and it's really getting the best of you. But that being said, I think you need to be kinder to yourself as well and take more chances to rest. You could be oversleeping a lot and just struggling to sleep at night, and then on your days off you sleep in a lot, or you're just in this weird thing where you just can't shut your mind off. What is Aquarius going through in February, Spirit? What is Aquarius going through in February? There's a card in here that wants to come out, but it didn't come out properly before. The World card. This is actually one of your cards. It's a card associated with Saturn, and Saturn is the ruler for both Capricorn and Aquarius. You have Uranus and Saturn as rulers, so it kind of depends on what side of astrology you sit on. Similar to Scorpio and Pisces, there's another sign that has two planets as well. I can't remember it off the top of my head though. But you're in your power, but you're also kind of like in the shadow power, you know, like your shadow traits are getting the best of you in February. And I feel like this is all to kind of empower you and to remind you of how incredible your mind is, because Aquarius, your sign is notorious for being able to come up with those out of the box ideas, for being very future thinking and futuristic in your approach to life, and being very human based as well. This idea of like, we are in this together. We need to think about each other while also fostering individuality, you know, and that's a part of it. It's a part of humanity, is looking at each other as like we are one, but we are also many different people. Now, this seems to be getting the best of you though. You seem to have a lot of anxiousness in the first week of February. You start the month feeling like your thoughts are getting the best of you, potentially losing sleep over something, and it's something that you need to figure out how to work through. It could just be that you have a lot of information in your head and you need a way of expressing it and just getting rid of the waste. It's like you've already made your mind up about something, but for some reason this thought isn't leaving you with the Nine of Swords. You're overthinking it and it's starting to weigh heavily on you. It feels like you've gotten a truth out of the situation though. So from that moment, that truth, that epiphany, ends up becoming a bit of a burden for you. It's either that, okay, I've got the information, but my hands are tied, there's nothing I can do, or, okay, I've got that information, but I can't change what has happened because it happened in the past. For whatever reason, the information offers clarity, but not solutions. So I see with the Nine of Swords, that first week of February, we've got an epiphany moment, but the truth of the situation is that our actions towards that truth are limited. And it does feel like we need a way of just coping in that first week by either talking to someone about it and just blowing off steam, you know, letting it out, having a heart-to-heart conversation with someone. And it's not like you need advice, you just need someone to listen to you. So it's really important that you keep that in mind with whoever you seek out, because you don't need them to tell you what to do. You already know what you should do, but you can't do it. So you just need someone to listen to you. I do think that sleep is going to be disrupted in that first week. So it is all about sort of getting into a routine of rest and recovery, which is where your second week kicks off as well, Aquarius. Your second week is very much about rest and recovery. You need to look after your body and just take it easy. I do think that your hands are tied when it comes to action. You've got a lot of beautiful ideas, not a lot of opportunities to do it. So your biggest thing is just sort of nurturing yourself physically and being kind to yourself mentally until you have more opportunities to take action. I do think that your sleep is going to need to be important in that second week of February, mostly because after that first week, you're very much in like damage control. Like, we need to look after you because your first week took a lot out of you. So that second week, not a heck of a lot going on. In fact, you may choose to just kind of lay low and not commit yourself to too much. But I do think with the Four of Swords, that's going to be like a slow week for you of rest and recovery, basically. So there's not too much I can say about that week. But moving forward over here with the third week of February, I do see with the Ten of Swords that our mind is just whirring. There's a lot going on in our head. We're overthinking a situation. We're trying to look for solutions. And for some of you, this situation has only gotten worse because you feel like you haven't been able to get the answers that you've needed from somebody else. So it does feel like the theme over here, you may need to start opening communication up with somebody in order to get those answers, in order to get that closure. Because what's going on is you feel a little bit betrayed here. You feel as though you're the victim and somebody has made you the victim through their actions and communication or lack thereof. Maybe this person didn't step up when you needed them and now you're feeling like they've betrayed you. It's very important that you voice your opinion here, because it does feel like the whole goal of this feeling and these overwhelming thoughts is to end them, right? We don't need to continue moving forward with that idea of people are hurting me. We need to be able to talk about these things and end them once and for all. So it does feel like we're trying to end that tough cycle in that third week. And in order to do that, we need to have a serious conversation or create an opportunity for this conversation to happen. Because February for you is a frustrating month. It feels like you're really in your head. And there's a lot that you want to talk about, but at the same time, there's not much you can do. So you're really needing to just take the chances you have and try not to be too hard on yourself, because you've only, it's that idea of subjectivity again. Your 24 hours is very different to other people's for some reason in February. Your opportunities are limited. You could be recovering from something physically that puts you in a position to like you're isolating and you can't really be out there as much as you want to. So it's really important that you are aware of that and that you give yourself the allowance to feel like that, like don't beat yourself up too hard. Because I do think from the Ten of Swords to the World over here, you've got a lot of loose ends to tie up in that last week of February, and you've got more opportunities to do it. By the end of February, you definitely are very aware of the things that you want to do, of the achievements you want to focus on, and you're still feeling like you're running out of time or like you don't have enough time. I think it's very essential for you just to kind of get that structure that you need in terms of being more realistic about what you're working with when it comes to free time or time in general. You may need to start to list your goals from like can do in the next day, can do in the next week, can do in the next month, can do in the next, year, because it feels like what's missing here is a timeline. And I don't know if it's just because of your birthday or if it's because of a conversation that you had with someone recently, but you feel like you're running out of time. You feel like there's so much that you want to do that you can't do, and you feel like you're starting to lose the chance to do these things. You feel like your window for success is closing, but that's not the case. With the world reversed, you're definitely delayed from completing an important cycle, and that's mostly because we can't end it like this. In order to complete this cycle, we need to make sure that we feel accomplished, that we feel successful, and that we've gained the recognition or the accolades that we deserve, right? And in order to do that, we need to give ourselves either more time or reasonable deadlines to achieve these things. I genuinely think that you need to kind of look at your situation more subjectively, maybe stop comparing it to where you thought you were going to be or how you thought life was going to go, because you're dealing with, a pandemic as well. You're also dealing with whatever it is that you went through at the end of the year, which feels like you're still trying to catch up on, and it feels like you've just been very hard on yourself. And listen, nobody else is allowed to treat you like this, so it's good that it's coming from you and not somebody else. But at the same time, I do think that this is causing strains unnecessarily and weight unnecessarily on your shoulders. So let's have a look at your love life real quick, because I wouldn't be surprised if this is impacting your love. What is Aquarius's love life going to be like in February, Spirit? What is happening for Aquarius in love in February? We have the Queen of Swords in the reverse position. Excuse me, are you working? There we go. That's kind of you, I guess. We have the Empress in the reverse position. What is going on for Aquarius in February, Spirit, when it comes to love? We also have the Princess of Torches in the upright position. Okay. So, what's your bottom deck energy? The Devil. Okay. The Devil is your bottom deck energy. So, listen, Aquarius, how do I say this? Oh my gosh, I wish I could pause it and just collect myself. You know what, I'm going to hold the Amazonite because I think I need to do that. But listen, Your month of February is very much about you feeling like the victim, and I feel like you really hate that about yourself. So I'm not trying to perpetuate something that you're already uncomfortable with, but I need to at the same time be honest with you. I'm feeling like there's a lot of inner turmoil here, and I'm feeling like you try your best to recover and to take time for yourself, but at the same time you're avoiding the overall issue, which is you need to start having some of these difficult conversations, or you need to start talking about these difficult things and being more open about what you're going through. And that reflects with your love life as well. It feels like in your love life, you're falling into patterns of behavior that you know you're better than, but they're coping mechanisms. And they're little fixes, like little quick fixes, a little booty call here and there, or a little quick something here and there. But at the same time, it's perpetuating the overall issue. And it's a reflection of how you see yourself at the moment, which isn't in the best of lights. So whoever you're dealing with in love is feeling very confused by your actions. You're acting out of character. They know something's going on with you, especially if you've had a partner in your life for some time, or if you have someone who knows you very well. They can tell that you have a lot on your mind. They can tell that you're just doing and acting and speaking in a way that is trying to cover up the bigger issue. And they're also trying to give you that allowance because they know that you're better than this. They know that you are someone who is destined for a lot more, that you have so much potential, and that you are someone who can achieve so much in this lifetime. So they're trying to be patient with you, but at the same time, it feels like you are having like these closed off issues. You're not speaking your mind, or you're being very censored when it comes to this person. Now, for some of you, you're hyper fixating on your love interest instead of focusing on your own issues, which is where your issues start to begin, and you bring those into your relationship as well subconsciously. You seem to be very fixated on what your partner's doing instead of focusing on what you need to do to bring a healthier version of yourself to your relationship. I do see your relationship slowing down and having some little growing issues, growing pains, okay, in February. If you're in a relationship, Aquarius, this is about needing to be more communicative and expressive with your partner and addressing the issues as they arise, especially issues around where your relationship is growing and how you want to bring more of yourself to the relationship. You may feel like your partner's overshadowing you, or you may feel like you're not bringing enough growth in your own way to the relationship. If you're single, I feel like what's going on here is you're having a hard time putting yourself in a healthy environment for a relationship. You may be attracted towards people who are instant fixes, right? People who can gratify the way that you see yourself and sort of fill in the gaps of what you're missing, the deficits of what you're missing. It feels like you're either very closed off and cold, or you're seeking people who don't ask those big questions and those heavy, deep questions that you usually gravitate towards, because you just need someone who fills the gaps and fills the time and numbs the pain. So it's very important that you're careful. And if you're in a relationship, you need to start thinking about how you can bring that passion back into your relationship, as well as being more communicative, and consider opening up about your insecurities so that you don't sabotage a good thing that you've got going on. If you're single, you do need to start putting yourself out there with this idea of knowing your self-respect and your worth, because you will attract people who are attracted to your individuality, especially the way that you express yourself. But you need to be very aware of the fact that in February, your head, your mind is not in the best of places. You could be attracting very fickle characters if you're single, okay? So that's what I'm seeing for you, Aquarius. It has been a pleasure to read for you. You have no idea. I have a soft spot for Aquarius people. So I hope that you have a prosperous and abundant February month. Remember that this is a prediction. It does not dictate your life. Your actions, your thoughts, your reality is all dictated through the actions and thoughts that you have and take. So remember that you're a very powerful Aquarius. I will be doing a check-in reading halfway through the month of February. If you want me to focus on a specific theme or topic, please comment your suggestion down below. I hope you found the advice helpful in this reading, and I will connect to you very, very soon in another video. Bye.